I don't know why, but you are watching the Madness Comic Network. Are you mental?
The Madness Comic Network and comic-related madness proudly presents Madness Tuesday Morning Brew. Tune in to our content on Comic Talk with Pops Van Zandt on YouTube.
Happy Tuesday. It is I, your hostess with the hottest coffee around, Laurie Calcaterra. I'm the writer-creator of the best Western apocalypse series out there, Path of the Pale Rider, making bears more deadly before it was cool. Oh my God. I have not seen the first episode of the next season of Last of Us, but people have been in my DMs because guess what? There's a bear in there. What the heck, man? Bear in there, and there's a bear coming in Dead City, the new Walking Dead with what's her face? And Negan. There's a bear in that one too. So I was like, okay, Big James predates all of these. Big James has been cool before it was cool to be a deadly bear. I don't know. So yeah. Path of the Pale Rider news. We are finishing edits this week. Gilbert has a couple left. And then we're going to print. So things are done. The only merch that is not done, well, I don't have the custom pops yet, but those take time, right? Because they're custom made. And I'm still 3D printing secret rewards, but I should be able to finish those up this week. Where's your coffee and donut? You should have your coffee. It's the Tuesday Morning Brew. William Pace, where's your donut? I don't know, man. Maybe Ray has one for you. He likes donuts. Oh, good morning. Good morning. So 2 things are going to happen this week on Path of the Pale Rider spectrum. One, I'm turning off the late pledges. And so if you know someone, there's actually been a couple that snuck in this week There's still opportunities to get books. Hey, yo. You can get books. So the digital and all of the book tiers with no like t-shirts and merch, those are still available. And so you can sneak in, you can still get on that thank you page. You can still get the first print of issue 6 out there. But it's going to turn off today. So this is your last chance. I'll drop the link because I always forget to do that for my own stuff. And then number 2, the Slice and Dice survey is coming out this week. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to push to, there's someone else snuck in. There's 140 now. I'm pushing to have the bat saw be the weapon of choice. I will give you options, but come on. We got the bat saw from freaking Von Fox. We should use it. So you might see this survey come out like name this fruit or vegetable, but it's going to be like pick a weapon, bat saw, or bat saw. It's probably what's going to happen. I'm just going to say. So here is the link. Here is the Kickstarter. Oh my gosh, who snuck in? Look at this, guys. They went up to 77. Amazing. So 140 backers. So I got to grab that person and get him on the thank you page before we go print, and then we're turning stuff off. So I have actually been working on stuff for issue 7. I'm doing new commercials. I'm working on new music. I'm working on a video, couple videos. Oh, I wanted to say, I don't know if you guys know, but so the riddle for issue 6, the riddle award is a video, right? And my dumb butt accidentally put it as public instead of private, which was awesome because I published it as what I thought was private. So note to everybody, if you're trying to put something in a private video, make sure you go double check that it's actually private, because mine was public, and overnight I slept through the night, and then people were sharing it, and it wasn't supposed to be shared. My good friend Chris Brown was like, I really like this video. And I was like, uh-oh. So some of you may have seen the Ellie video that was floating around, but it has since been turned off. So you have to solve the riddle in order to see the video. And this is the first time ever that the riddle is, the way that you solve the riddle is different on the physical and the digital. It's the same answer, but you have to solve it 2 different ways. You'll see what I mean when you get it. So yeah, so there's that. So anyway, so yeah, people have been seeing some of the cool stuff I'm working on. I'm super. Did you see it too? Well, hopefully more people can see it when they solve the riddle. Thank you. I did some acting in that, and hopefully it's up to scratch. So it's not too hard to get into Ellie's brain, I think, because it's decayed. Anyway, enough about me. She shows me the other one, not the one she showed. I sent that one to you too. You have to just click on the link I sent you. You can see it pops. But yeah, so things coming. I'm super excited for 7. Everybody and their mom wants to be a part of issue 7. So we might have more variant covers than we typically do. So be prepared for that as well. Anyway, like I said, enough about me. I'm going to bring in my good friend, Ray Jamison, writer, creator, Canadian. I don't know if you could put that in.
Why does the word Canadian always provoke laughter? I don't get it.
I just, it's weird to be like, American. Put it on your
American.
resume. But we do it to Canadians all the time.
Taiwanese.
Like,
he's something. Oh, and also in respect to yesterday's conversation, just
you brought a sandwich. I love it. So we were on Carissa's show when we were saying that she's off today. Hey, hi Cosmac. Hey, that Carissa was just gonna like storm the castle pretty much and show up at the Tuesday morning brew and just show up and eat a sandwich.
She let me down. I'm disappointed.
We were just gonna vacate and just let her be on screen and eat a sandwich and watch her Kickstarter go up. The link didn't work. That's probably because I turned it on private. So I don't know. It should work. She's not on. She's in my inbox. Carissa? Oh, she's off today. Like she's not in the van working. That's what I meant. Anyway, I'm glad you brought your sandwich.
It's peanut butter and jam on raisin bread.
What kind of jam?
Strawberry.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want one.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'll be right back. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
I run the show now.
That would be terrifying.
This episode is brought to you by
Tim Hortons. We're going to have some product placement again.
Yes.
That's awesome. For those of you that haven't seen Ray's episode on Killer Karen, he had the most props in that no one brought props like
I'm
Ray
going to
brought
stop
props.
eating because I look like a cow chewing grass.
People often announce in British. Now, I don't know. It's just like
I don't know if I can do British. Didn't sound like it though.
No, I mean, no, she means like, welcome Ray Jamison. He's from Britain. He's from Britain. He's from the UK. And it's something that we Americans do, I guess. Yeah. This episode brought to you by the letter C for Canada.
Canada, eh? You got the CA at the end because a lot of Canadian websites, instead of .com, it's .ca.
Why?
I don't know. There must be some mentality there. Also, one thing I noticed in like, do you watch any combat sports at all, Laurie?
Mm-hmm.
So in the UFC, whenever they announce somebody's from like Las Vegas, they say from Las Vegas, Nevada. But if let's pretend I was in the octagon, not saying I would do too well.
I can imagine this.
Let's say if they announce me, they'd say from Winnipeg, Canada. They don't say Winnipeg, Manitoba. Like they don't say Las Vegas, USA.
America. They say Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah.
This was the conversation that was interesting because a lot of people like in Europe were saying like it's weird how Americans, instead of saying they're from America, they'll identify with their state. Because a lot of people will be like, I'm from Texas, I'm from California, I'm from New York. And they said that, Americans, we do that because the United States is so big that like the people are so different from each other. Like people in Texas are way different than the people in New York or New Hampshire, right? And well, it's hard for them to understand because we're so big. It's like the state of California is bigger than most of the countries in Europe. So
yeah, it's very it's interesting because if you go to like let's say you're in England, well, where are you from? Well, I'm a Scouser, I'm a this, I'm a that. But as soon as you leave the country, they just say England.
Yeah,
which is it's a very interesting dynamic. I would have never considered that.
But we in the States are like, I'm from Texas. And people get an image of you based off of which state you're in, I guess.
Right away, like big cowboy hat, big boots,
cowboy.
Even bigger belt buckle.
Yeah, I prefer to say Texas because when I say I'm originally from Detroit, people look at me funny.
You don't like to rep the 313?
I'm like, do you eat people? Wow.
Do you eat, who asked this?
Detroit literally says they have T-shirts that say Detroit versus everybody, or like.
I see.
they it's like you have a rough and tough.
That's
like
Eminem's home.
Yeah.
All hands in the air from the 313, as stated in the movie 8 Mile.
And they have there's weird celebrities. It's like Bruce Campbell.
I love that man.
Kid Rock, Eminem. That's about it. There's more people. I'm just teasing.
Did you ever see Bruce Campbell when he played Elvis Presley and Bubba Hotep?
No.
He makes a great Elvis. He's awesome. I'm sure you can imagine. But it's not the best of movies, but it's enjoyable just for his portrayal.
Yeah. I mean, this is a good.
This is why we call the United States and not a United States. It's a principle on which the U.S. was founded. Yeah, it's very,
it's true. It's like all the states can have different laws. I mean, they can all work independently. So it's like you can pick and choose.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. Hey, William. Nice to see you, man. Hope you had fun at C2E2. Welcome home. Saw that movie. Which movie?
Bubba Hotep.
Oh, Bubba Hotep. Never saw it. Motown. Yeah. A lot of people from Motown. It's kind of old now, though, in Motown, right? People are they still around? I don't know.
Me, I like Motown.
Do you?
Yeah. my parents were older when I was born. I was the baby, and they started family late. My parents were in their mid 30s by the time I was born. So I was born in the mid 80s. If you take, got something in my eye. If you take 30, basically they're born in the late 40s. So there's a span of music I was exposed to as a kid, radio in the car, that kind of thing. I like
Radio. Oh
Motown.
yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. So you had a story to share when we first came on, or was it the
Oh,
sandwich?
yes. No, it wasn't the sandwich. So based off of the video you showed me, which is not
Right.
public yet.
All right. So the video I put together last night that is only a couple people have seen, I showed it to Ray because I'm super excited. But I'm not showing it yet to you guys, but soon. Anyway, you had a story regarding?
So you reminded me of a story once when my firstborn, my son, was old enough to go shopping with me for a Halloween costume. So he would have been roughly 2-ish. And we go into, do you guys have Spirit of Halloween?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. So Spirit of Halloween. Oh, that's right. I found that zombie bear mask I showed you once from Spirit of Halloween.
It was so
Anyways, we walk in and there's the costumes on one side, and I'm focusing on the kid side. Then on the other side, it's got all the decrepit
Scary
stuff. So we got
adult.
these like, one of them is like these large clowns with really long arms and legs, really lanky, like Jack Skellington kind of lanky.
Yeah.
And they've got like their facial expressions is something you'd see out of the movie Terrorizer or like a Slipknot concert, just like really, And so my son looks over. He's never seen anything like that before. He says, "What's that?" So I downplay it. I'm like, "Oh," and I ad-libbed. I'm like, "That's just the scaries. Don't worry about that. Let's go get the costume." And we go to the other side of the store, get the costume, and leave. Months later, my wife takes our kids out to a restaurant, like for lunchtime. There's a buffet, and they go in with the early bird. And just as they walk in, coincidentally, since it was early bird, there's like a lot of elderly individuals, and you can already see where this is going, but I'll finish the story anyway. So right at the opening door, as my wife and my children walk in, there's one person with a walker, one person with an oxygen tank attached to said person's face, and another person that just looks over. And my son turns to my wife and says, "Mama, the scaries are here." Pauses, looks back at them, looks back and says, "The real scaries."
Dun, 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 dun. And now you've left the entire chat wondering how that relates to my video.
So yeah, your video reminded me of that story. So that's a little bit of mystery building there. I'm happy to add to said hype machine.
Oh my gosh, you're a poor kid. Does he know that? Have you retold that story to him?
Yes. Yeah, he'll be 9 in August, so
Okay.
he's very aware. I always tell my kids stories when they were younger because even though it was a handful of years ago, that's like more than half their life ago. They don't remember any of that.
Right. Yeah. That's
Percentage of life is very interesting. From somebody who's 80, 6 months means nothing, but somebody who's under 2, it's like a quarter of their life, half their life, whatever.
Right.
Really cool.
It's interesting to think about that. And then my mom and dad were here. My mom and dad are from Michigan. They come down, they kind of what we call snowbird. I don't know if you're familiar with that term. Yeah. So they come down to Texas usually in January and they stay till April or May. They just left like a week ago. But I don't know what it is about the elders, that generation. They always have like 8,000. I don't know where they get the storage in their phone. I feel like I'm always running out of storage in my phone, but they have like all the videos of my kids when they were like 2, right? And toddlers. And so that's one thing that my kids love when my mom's over is they go back and they watch all the videos of them when they were kids. And it's like,
right on.
Yeah, this is fun. But it's like, that was, if you think about it, I'm like, Delilah, my youngest, she just had her birthday last week and she just turned 8. So it really wasn't that long ago. I mean, some of these, we had just moved to Texas, which feels like yesterday.
Right.
To me, you know what I mean? But seeing her that little, it's crazy.
One thing I try really hard to do to dial in the realism of how short a time is for somebody who's younger is I try to compare it to like a span of high school. 4 years passes. Well, for me, the last 4 years of my life or of high school, that didn't feel like yesterday and today. It felt like 4 years. And so when 4 years passes and there's kids, I try to see it through their eyes. Like that's a whole high school career. That's a long time.
Yeah, for them. Speaking of a long time, does it Scott, I'm going to just segue this into your Kickstarter because
I'm okay with
Ray has a Kickstarter live right now, and I really feel like time moves differently when you're in a Kickstarter, doesn't it? Do you feel that way?
The first time, yes. It was like, let's say a carnival. It's just as exciting as it is scary. There's a lot of fear of unknown. There's lots of
Right.
variables going on, and it's not that you're putting out fires, but you're always looking for them, and there's always things that pop up and you want to tackle and address, and you're just considering what can I do to add to the experience of this Kickstarter while people are watching it and following it, and people are talking about it, and so forth and so on. And this time around, the edge, I don't want to say tension, but you're on edge because you want to make sure everything's running fine. But this time around, there's a lot more of I'm a little more centered. Like I know what I'm getting myself into.
I'm sorry, Lou.
Real
What?
shock because I'm Batman. Oh, that's a Bruce Wayne joke because his parents aren't here anymore.
Right.
I see what you did
Why?
there.
Why are you Batman, Lou?
Is that supposed to be in like quotation marks by chance? I think
don't know.
where that's going.
Please continue. Sorry, I totally
Oh, that's
derailed
okay.
your nice.
All good, all
You
good.
know, talk about how
Yeah,
time works. Funny.
this time around has been, and another thing to add why there's less edge. The first time my book was funded in the first 2 days. This time my book was funded in the first 2 hours.
Nice.
So
That's still so quick, man.
yes,
My first Kickstarter, I think I funded on day 28 out of
oh
30.
boy.
It was a long push. But I mean, my goal was so stupid high because again, I wasn't part of the community. I didn't know anybody. And I
Right.
put a realistic, like, if we're gonna make this and I gotta pay for all these things, it's 4,550.
Right.
God,
Yeah, for
who
me,
does
I
that?
didn't go for cost. I went less than that just because as people are considering backing, we're close to stretch goals. Like I've got some cool
Yeah.
ones I want to show. But if you're, I mean, some people do it, all the power to them. If they're fighting the whole month just to get funded, those stretch goals, which are there for incentivizing, they'd never get utilized. And I
Right.
mean, ideal, you get this landslide backing and you can jump into that. But I decided to do the opposite and take a step back. I didn't need my funding goal. This isn't my day job. I do this because I want to. So I save up, pay for the talent, get them to produce, and then go from there kind of thing.
Gotcha.
But with that said, this time around, we are today, at the end of today, will be the halfway point, and almost as much funded this time as last time has occurred. So same amount
Well,
of money.
currently
Half
where
the
you
time.
are now,
Yes.
you are almost at the same number that you were last campaign, and there's still half of your campaign to go.
Correct. So
Nice.
super excited about that. This would be the quote unquote dead time. Some people call it different things. And
Plateau.
it's still plateau. It's creeping. It's creeping up. So we're just riding through this. It's part of the nature of the beast, and
Yep.
it's been a great time. I'm
I always feel like I'm
content.
screaming into the void during this
I
time.
remember you saying that.
Still cool stuff. I still got good. No, nobody's listening. All right.
I seem to get some positive traction when I make fun of my own campaign, be it memes or otherwise.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that during this plateau time.
I
Blame
blame
Canada. Oh,
Canada.
here's Tom. Tom loves me. South Park told me to. That's right. Tom has reduced his standards and morals and dictation to South Park.
Blame Canada.
Tom's got a point. I'm not going to lie.
I mean,
you
that
blame
was actually
Canada.
a good movie. I liked that movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I just want to,
You
as
do.
Tom was saying, just get some makeup right there.
Halloween, right?
Hello,
You just need to draw
how
a
are you
line.
doing today?
Don't get
Kind of
that baby.
Cartman's adopted little brother.
Kick the baby.
Don't kick the baby.
Don't
Man,
kick
I
the
haven't
baby.
seen that one in a while.
That was like season 1 where they're always
Mhm.
kicking the baby and the gay dog. And then
I
Cartman with
would
the it's
don't take my cheesy
abducted by
pearls.
aliens. What?
Don't take my cheesy pearls.
And he's like, "Mama, Mom." It's like, "Kitty's being a dildo."
Yeah. No, Cartman.
She was like, "Oh, I
No,
know a little
Eric,
kitty
rather.
kitty who's sleeping with Mama tonight."
Man, that show went hard for the late 90s, man. Whew.
Oh, man.
I remember when that came out, it was all like quote unquote controversial.
Oh,
Canadians
that's a
in
great
Dungeon.
question.
Are there Canadians in Dungeons and Dragons? Is he trying to
Yes.
segue us back on topic? Well, I appreciate it. I
Sorry.
appreciate it, Tom.
I know
That's
we've been
okay.
seeing shiny things all episode this morning. Like, just talking
Do you have the Kickstarter open, or do you want me to share my screen?
La 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 la.
Maybe we'll play that lovely
This is me you're talking to.
thing.
I'm always prepared.
There you go. Why don't you Carissa corrected me. If you could please play that trailer and go to full screen, that would be just terrific.
All
But
right,
no pressure.
Pause here.
After Chasgo and myself received a surprise visit from Dunnan and Madrakas, we were able to help the local guards stave off the beginnings of an undead outbreak. I recognise one of the fallen creatures to be an addict to the local drug, Eve. After following a lead, the 4 of us were able to track down a group of bandits transporting the drug. Fortunately, we were able to control the situation, and Dunnan has a gift with aligning perspectives.
You get to choose which of my friends here you are going to speak to. If not, I'll pick for you.
We had no idea that this was the beginning of a very long night.
I was able to eat a sandwich bite in between.
I saw it in the back. It was like, I can still see you eating that sandwich.
I'm okay with this.
Why, thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Groove-tastic. So
Groovy.
this story has been what is it? Cable Foster, who voiced it. He plays D&D with a couple of people I know in California. I've played D&D with him a couple of times. The fellow who voiced Dunnan, the little guy, the couple of lines there, is Michael Towson. And the two of them I've met through various D&D games. Michael Towson is actually one of the backing tiers, which I am passively trying to annoy Tom Hutchinson with joining in on. I don't really try too hard, but because I'm consistent, I think it's annoying. But I will never know the truth to that. But anyways, this story, for anybody who doesn't know, it's medieval fantasy themed, as you can see. Yeah, it's just a story about 4 friends getting caught up. Yeah, that's Michael there.
Sorry.
One of the tiers. That's okay. This story is just 4 friends getting caught up in what appears to be a correlation of an undead outbreak and a local drug problem with a fictional drug known as Weave. This is definitely not a drug PSA. It is it just happens to have drugs in it. It's not pro or anti-drug, so I don't want anybody to think this is preachy or anything like that. It definitely is not. Issue number 2, I've had a lot of fun with the covers. I had a lot of fun. I liked the collaboration with thumbnails.
Yes.
So the one cover there, Chasgo, that I had a lot of you debate on. I had 7 thumbnails, and Tom actually gave a really good point on that moving forward. Next time I'll say give me 3 or 4 good ones, as opposed to if you've got like 18, half of them are going to be variants of each other kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that one, Jay Sloan, Dave Kemp colors, beautiful work of art. I'm really excited to debut that pet raven, an albino 3-eyed raven named MX. You can see on page 7, which is previewed a little bit later in this Kickstarter at the bottom or lower down.
Who is Crom
Looks like
on
Crom on
steroids?
steroids. Oh, Crom is the deity that Conan the Barbarian worships. So I think that's a reference to Madrakas.
Oh, this guy.
Yes.
He's my favorite because he's a giant lizard.
He's this giant like lizardy snake dude that can vomit lightning on things.
I want that talent. I could vomit just not lightning. It can
wonder
be
if
aggressive.
I'm imagining an animation of Madrakis vomiting lightning. You're imagining like, but instead it's like.
See, what if it was? What if it was? He thinks he's vomiting lightning, and he's just vomiting.
And everybody convulsing is not from electricity,
No,
just
it's
from
just
being
gross.
grossed out.
Like, what
I
did
love
this
it.
guy eat?
Crom is Crom. He does not care about your 4 wins.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't have any burritos last night, so there will not be any 4 wins.
Please no wins. At least this is over the interweb, so that's the great thing because you can never smell your guests. I appreciate that.
There's an Inuit saying, a man appreciates the smell of his own wind. In other words, they take pride in their work, but it's a flatulent joke at the same time.
This is actually spot on. Hangover meets Walking Dead wrapped in chainmail. Yeah.
Yeah, that's eating a burrito. There we go. See?
Breakfast burrito? That would be. Oh,
I like that. I've never heard Hangover meets Walking Dead wrapped in chainmail. Yeah, that's not bad.
I like
Not
it.
bad. I like it.
I like it.
That's not bad.
You know,
it's on
Ray,
for Monday.
one of my goals this year, because there's book talk, which is really big, right? And they do these book recommendations where it's like, if you like this and this, you would like this book. And they introduce indie novels to people. I want to do that for indie comics.
That's
So
not a bad idea.
yeah. And it's just like, it's a 10-second video and I could do that. It's just green screen where I'd be like, hold my hand out and it would be like, if you like, Hangover, D&D and Walking Dead, you would like, and then the picture is replaced with the Madcaps. So it's like
That's not bad.
introducing other people to indie comics that, you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
they never know. Like, they would never know.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. That would make
I
good
would
for
know.
reels on social or shorts,
Yes.
depending on the platform you're utilizing.
Yeah. That's like a majority of what I do is just shorts and reels.
Yeah.
Karen
Yeah,
should do
sure.
it. Karen? I have too many other things on my plate right now, which we won't get into. I'm trying to get rid of some things. Oh. Anyway, tell us more about your.
So here we have Madrakis, which Laurie is appreciating heavily.
I like this one. That's the one I got.
One of the things I really wanted to do for this short story, 3 issues, is if you're a young boy and you get inspired by cool stories in some form, be it superheroes or Conan the Barbarian or something to that effect, you get inspired to make your own stories. And usually because it's a young mind, well, I want my guys to be the toughest, the roughest, the strongest. I wanted to make sure I didn't fall into that trap. I mean, I'm not a kid, but it's very easy to be like, I want my guy to be awesome. I decided not so much. Now, they all have some cool signatures to them, some metaphorical haymakers, if you will, but
nice.
Madrakis, we already mentioned, vomiting lightning. He's not a skilled fighter. All of that armor he wears is pretty much ceremonial, reflecting the very little he knows about his people. He was raised by humans, so he doesn't know too much, and there's not much in regards to records about his species. So anything he can grab on, he holds on to a lot. But many people looking at him, he's over 6.5 feet tall. He clears 350 pounds. Armor and a sword. Okay, this is obviously a well-seasoned veteran or a soldier of some type, but he's not. He could swing a sword very hard. That's very evident, but he's not a technical swordsman or anything even close to that. The most deadliest thing about him is actually his intelligence. So you remember in the first issue where he catches a zombie by the throat, sets its head on fire. Or in this case, in this image here, I took a part of script 2 and I gave it to the person who drew it, Rod Ramos Rodolfo. And I just said, show Madrakis doing this cool thing, but don't show anything else in the scene. So here he is using his arcane ability to pull Earth upward. This was Rod's interpretation of the scene, which I think is really, really awesome, especially with the use of the depth with the Earth up front and even just multi layers of how Madrakis is posed. I wanted to play with that a bit more by making sure Madrakis' head and hand were in front of the logo to give it that much more depth. Another
Yeah.
cool thing, you don't get to see it. It's not much. Rather, it is not discussed too much about his sword or why it's purple. But the only things I can say about it currently is his sword is it's actually made by Dunanini, the little guy, and there's a
Really?
whole story behind it. Dunanini is a smith and
Right.
he controls metals and crystalline structures, but there's a reason it looks like it is. It's actually a mixture of different alloys within it, and of course it's fantasy setting, so within it there's silver and also obsidian and some other things, but I can't really say too much more about that. I don't even know if I will
What?
tell that part because that story is outside of this miniseries. My goal
I
is just to get
think
this miniseries done.
you should have him voice as Samuel L. Jackson. And that way it makes sense because he was the only one with the purple lightsaber. So it would be fitting.
Madrakas Wandu.
Yeah. Oh. Remember fighting me, Galileo. Galileo Figaro, Magnifico.
Figaro Magnifico.
Thank you for that, Lou.
Stab him with the sword. Don't get
All
me
right,
going.
Ray.
I'll do it.
Tell me you have figured out how to make this stained glass.
I have somebody local that has
Ooh.
had some stained glass made. So
Actual
shout out,
glass.
shout out to Game Night Games. They Night with a K. It's a board game tabletop store. Their entire building looks like a castle. It's really, really awesome.
Cool.
You can find them in Winnipeg on 519 Osborne Street. And inside a lot of their windows, they got like stained glass of like dragons and their actual store logo. I'm going to speak to them and be like, where and how much, like, where did you get this done? And I think that's my best lead currently.
I really think that you could craft it, because what you're talking about is going to be like megabucks.
There's a lot to consider. I want to see what would I'm curious what the quote would be.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt to ask, and I'll
It's
say
gonna be
straight up, I don't know
megabucks.
if I can afford you, and I don't want to waste your time, but
That's a lot. Spoiler.
ballpark. I think it would work very well if I were to construct the framework and then use resin instead of glass.
Yeah, because I think you could like a clear epoxy.
Mm-hmm.
You could even I really think you could 3D print the frame just in
Yes.
black. And then you'd have to build like a structure to put it in so you could do the different epoxies in it. And then with a clear layer on top.
So anybody that is interested in
Epoxy.
this cover, it's actually metal foil to add to that stained glass effect.
So cool.
Because it's metal foil, it does cost a bit more than the other ones, but I think it's going to look like it looks good like this, looks good metal foil. I definitely am interested in trying to replicate it in real life. But
I could do it. I just don't have the time. Too busy making videos about other things.
Here we have Victor Medina's interiors with Dan Kemp's colors.
Who drew the interiors for your last issue?
Evan Quiring. Shout out to Evan Quiring.
Yeah.
He's very busy with his own projects. Unfortunately, he couldn't be available for this one, but you can check out his stuff, Lucha Mysteries, and also The Murder City Devil, which is a take on Spring Heel Jack in a modern time. Shrinky Dink It.
I think that would work too. I'm just saying.
Shrinky Dinks. I've heard of them, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, you could even get it on like a semi-transparent, like a sticker, and then put it on like an acrylic.
I see.
That would be a less expensive option too. And then you could like even hang them in. You could put like my kids have all these window hangers.
Right.
So we have a bunch of like the suction cups that go on the window so the light comes through. Sorry.
No, my mind's just thinking about making the framework personally, whether I get it 3D printed and designed but that's a story for another time. There's so much to consider in that.
So Victor Medina, this is his first time doing interiors?
This is his first time officially doing interiors. He's worked on other projects that never surfaced.
Well, okay.
The color is Dan Kemp, but the line work is Victor.
Okay, because I think I'm not sure 100% on this, but I'm going to say it out loud. I'm pretty sure that Victor Medina has done colors for other people's books, but he
Yes,
hasn't done the paneling and the line work before.
correct. And
That's
when he
cool.
found out, I told him Dan Kemp was going to be coloring.
Yeah.
He said, "Okay, I've seen his work; it's good." And then, as the next couple of weeks passed, he saw Dan Kemp posting like Spawn covers, and then it clicked. This is, oh my goodness.
Oh, this is Dan Kemp.
So he actually said to Dan, "I'm going to be stealing some of your techniques when I see you color my stuff." Dan says, "Go for it," But they're a great team. I'm really happy with how these have been turning out. It has enough life in it. Victor said he was really happy to work with my script. He felt it was very easy to follow, and I gave him enough creative liberties, but with at the same time being very clear on what I'm expecting. For example, panel 2 there was Sarlacc smashing into the fallen cart. I just said I wanted his axe hacking in, and I wanted one of the bandits to be surprised while this was happening, because it was done so just like sporadically.
Yeah.
And everything else from the angle, the viewpoint, I didn't describe any of that. So he had some options to work with. And these guys are pros. Like I definitely got my money's worth. I'm very, very, very grateful that they've been able to take a chance on little old me. Who am I in the comic world, right? Like, I'm a nobody, really. This is only my second issue writing, but other than that, I don't have any credentials to the game.
I feel the same way. I feel like I'm still getting my feet wet in here in this business.
That image there is issue or page 7. This is Chazgo looking through the eyes of his pet Emix, as I was mentioning. Emix is a very interesting creature, and Chazgo has a bond with it that has the potential of being explored. But again, there's only so much I really want to show in this miniseries. So depending how this story goes and where my life plays out, I've got kids, family, and other things. I'm more than happy to explore it. In my mind, I already know where other stories are going. But before any of those hypotheticals play out, you can at least enjoy this story. One thing I could not show too much in this Kickstarter in regards to the interiors, is there's a lot of action. There is action in this story, but unfortunately, all of the action is like in spoiler territory. So I couldn't really, I couldn't really divulge. From what you see here, a lot of this has to do with sneaking. Like even at one point, one of the 4 characters has to disguise themselves as a woman. To
I
like
vote
get out
on
of a tight
Madcaps.
scenario.
That would be great. I was like, Madcaps in a dress.
complete smeared on lipstick, the blood of his enemies.
Still serious, like 300-pound giant snake man in a dress. I'm here for the girl stuff. Like, oh yeah, no, get out of his way.
That checks out. Let's let her in.
Let him in. Just get out of his way. It's fine. He's gonna vomit on you.
Oh, that's amazing. But
That
that scene there, Chazgo's looking through Emic's eyes, and he's actually getting a lay of the land of the compound that they're about to infiltrate, which is the headquarters of drug distributor.
Go get
territory.
him.
So we get a little bit of they're making a plan of entering. So I can't really show anything else because it all becomes spoilers.
It's so hard. It's like there's so much good stuff we want to show you, but we can't.
Yes.
But at least this way they can get a feel of what interiors look like, the pencils, the color, the lettering, so people can understand, that it's professional, that it looks good.
In page 2 there, at least you get a little bit of a feel for the movement, but you don't get to see any, can't see any brutality as of yet. But this one, I've made this joke before. We've got magic, melee, monsters, mayhem, the whole package. The whole package in all 3 of these issues. You're going to like it. That's for sure.
Well, I already know that I have the first one. I was like, I already know I'm going to like it.
But we've got lots of different tiers, physical and digital, be it just issue 2 or a combination for a catch-up tier. We have all 5 covers there. As I was saying before, the stained glass one is metal foil.
Yeah. Not this one.
No, not that one. A lot of people.
Yeah, it's more because of that. Just so you guys are aware what you're getting, though.
Yes, and a lot of people wanted the Chasgo image to be metal foil as well, but that's an option later on as a metal foil pinup.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not buying 2 metal foil comics. You're getting actually a better price if you buy the metal foil stained glass and the metal foil pinup. It doesn't cost as much, but you're still getting something you're going to want to hang on your wall.
I had a question about these T-shirts, Ray. Is the image
Yes.
going to be that big?
I hope so. It might
I
be a little
hope not.
smaller. I don't. You hope
No.
not? You want it to be smaller?
No, it shouldn't be this big. It'll rip, tear, and come off when it's this big.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's still open for discussion.
Make
This
it a
is just
little
a
smaller.
sample image. So I
Uh,
guess if you've got like these different curves or like giant pecs and shredded abs, all of those different contours could like
Yeah,
kink up the
the
image.
bigger the pieces, like the HTV, it'll crack and wrinkle
That
the
makes sense.
bigger it is.
That's
Just
some good
from regular
insight.
wear and tear.
Yeah, I hear you. Either way, I know it's going to look awesome. You can pick
You're still gonna look
between
great.
one
Just
your size of shirt, color of shirt, and then one of those 4 images.
cool.
So
I like
that's
the
going
red
to look
one.
really awesome. The red one with Madcaps.
Well, I mean, come on.
So that's the enthusiast tier, which is you get to pick one of the 4 covers that are non-metal foil, and then one of the 4 T-shirts. And that I think that's a pretty good price, especially for T-shirt standards nowadays.
Yeah.
You'd probably spend more than that on a T-shirt at a Comic-Con, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, it was just between the 2, and then it comes with the digital too, right? Physical, with physical digital. I'm
Yes,
not sure.
yes, that is
Yeah,
correct.
that's an appropriate price. Yeah.
Underneath that, there is you can get all 5 at discount, and then there's one underneath. I really like this one. I made this joke last night with you guys on Carissa's, the Fireside Combo, which is 1 issue and then one of the plush tapestries, we're calling it. It's just a blanket, but I picked out art that I felt would look really cool hanging off a wall, look like, give it like a medieval type of feel.
I really feel like that's a stoner culture thing.
Fireside. Well, I'm a
No,
Canadian,
like
right?
the hanging the tapestry on the wall. It's that culture. It's just like you go in the basement, it smells funky down there, and there's a tapestry.
Got some skunk funk and
Yeah.
then some type of like abstract thing on the wall.
Mm-hmm. Usually it glows in the dark or black light.
Black light, yes.
Yeah. You know, some mushroom candles. That's the aesthetic.
Some type of what do they call it? Lava lamp. Maybe
Lava lamp.
A
Ooh.
mirror ball
I don't know about
spinning in the
that.
middle of the room.
That's getting too fancy for that.
Oh, that's too crazy, man.
Wait,
Some
that's the
incense
wrong
in the
one.
corner. But yeah, as I showed you yesterday, it was it snowed. It snowed here in Winnipeg, Winterpeg, as we call it.
Nope.
So us Canadians like blankets. So that Fireside one, it's a blanket and a book to read while you're trying to stay warm.
That's nice.
It's actually pretty good. All the snow's melted already. Like, it's weird here in April. It'll like dust down some snow, and as soon as the sun comes up, it's all gone. It's like an abstract way of watering your lawn. It's just like really, really weird.
It was 86 here yesterday.
Oh, is that all? No big deal. What's the temperature right now here? Temperature.
It's currently 66.
In not February. Fahrenheit.
Wow. Oh, that's what you're doing. I was like, it's just
we use silly meters here.
That's
so.
right. That's right.
It's 37 Fahrenheit here right now.
Ew.
Ew. I love how
terrible. Ray sent me a video of the snow falling yesterday, and I was like, it's time to move, right? I was like, you
know what? I really like
move.
the cold. When I was younger, I lived close to Hamilton and Toronto, Ontario.
Yeah.
Canada, of course, which is significantly further south than where I am.
Yeah.
And it was just like, anytime it snowed for me, I just really appreciated the cold. I burn hot, so I don't like a lot of layers and stuff.
Yeah.
With that said, I remember saying to my parents, I really like the cold. Well, maybe you'll move out west. It's cold there. And I did move out west, and I'm definitely enjoying it still. You could hate me all you want, but
nobody
I like
hates
it
you.
here.
I'm glad that someone enjoys it, because I'm not going there. And you all can't live in my neighborhood. Get out.
My theory is, if if
That
you
was
had
parenting
chocolate
stuff.
every day and then you have like it on a Valentine's or Christmas time, you wouldn't enjoy it as much.
Mhm.
So the snow, if you endure it for a season and the sun comes out, it's just that much brighter, you know?
Yeah,
That's just me.
I get it. I just want to be in my pool. Sorry.
But you can do that in the winter. It's called polar bear. See?
Yeah,
You get the
no.
best of both worlds. You get the
No.
snow and the swimming.
No. I still won't
Um,
go in my pool. The water is like 74-ish. Gotta be at least 84 for me to get in.
scroll up a couple of
Scroll
tiers there,
up.
add-ons. That one there, the
The
ultimate
ultimate
collector's tier.
collection. What's in
Somebody's
that?
already
Everything?
backed that.
What
Everything
is it?
and the kitchen sink. And I'm I really appreciate the individual who did that. They obviously believe in the cause. A lot of the add-ons underneath, but I can describe them here real quickly. You get every cover. You get a pinup of Sean Langley's art colored by Dan Kemp. You get a bookmark set. You get one blanket, one t-shirt. You get the metal foil poster. You get a map of where the story takes place. And you get D&D character sheets.
Wow.
Translated loosely into D&D. These are level 5 characters. And if you like playing one shots, so the game is
That's right.
finishes and begins in the one meeting, it's a good one to get. But all here is all the add-ons that I've already mentioned, but you get a little bit of a better look at them. So there you see you got the map. Dan Kemp colored it, and I like his use of subtle influence of color. First, he makes it look like it's been in the sun for a decade, and then the choice of color, where to apply it, it stands out in an appropriate way. Underneath that, we have the Sean Langley pinup art, also colored by Dan Kemp. I like the combination of their skills where, in their own way, they both draw the eye to the center of the image. I'm a
I
big
was
fan
laughing
of
at
it.
Madrakis vomiting lightning.
Yeah, you could see another example of Madrakis vomiting lightning. And there's also a zombie's head impaled on top of his sword, like a head on a spike kind of thing, or a pike rather.
That's cool.
Another one, speaking of South Park Canadians, you see Sarlacc swinging his axe. He actually turns a zombie into a South Park Canadian. Goes right through the middle of the head.
I see it. Look, guys, right here. Ha 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 ha.
Ha ha ha.
Kick the baby. That's nice. I love all these zombies in the background too. Like
Sean Langley is.
I feel like the more you look at this, there's more fun things that pop out, you know?
It's like after you find Waldo and
Waldo.
you're looking at all the picture afterwards.
Yeah, all the people. Who's this lady in purple here in the front?
Lady in purple? I don't know, but she's about to die. That's all I know.
Sometimes someone stands out and you're like, oh, that's a person. You know what I mean?
I see.
It's someone that he knows or you know, or like,
I was told once you never tick off an artist or a writer.
Yeah.
They'll kill you like 15,000 times.
What was it? The Rat Queens. They had someone named Gary that they disliked because they killed Gary like every episode.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then, of course, issue 1, we only have the main covers for that left. So anybody that got any of the variants, like I remember, Laurie, you got the one of Sarlacc holding the beheaded monster. I do have a few of them, which I think I'm going to sell at some local cons here. If you like Sean Langley's art and want to see what it looks like black and white, you can get both color and black and white for only $5 more, which is, I think, a good little deal there.
What size is the poster?
Comic print.
Okay.
So it matches. It's the same size.
Gotcha.
Underneath that, we have the metal foil posters I was talking about. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of people wanted to see this metal foil, so I took it one step more and removed the logo. So it's just the virgin image of the lines and the color. Shout out to those guys, Jay Sloan, Dave Kemp, knocked it out of the park. They did an excellent job.
I feel like there's more opportunities with this bird too. People love animals.
Yes.
In comics. Like Big James, like Sad Pancake, Carissa has her Anubis and the Wendigo. So I really feel like there's more opportunities for this bird.
I think you'd make a good plushie. That's on the table for issue 3. There's a couple things. That bird is it's cool.
It's part of the story. Right? He's just a throwaway. He's not just a throwaway, like, here's the bird.
He's
like,
definitely
he's an integral part of the story.
One thing I really hate in stories is if they have something really cool, but it's never utilized again. And there's a tough balance there
Yeah.
because, like, I want this to feel like the world existed before the story and when it existed after. So you have to have mentioned things in passing, but especially when you start getting into physical things, no matter what type of noun, person, place, or thing, you want it to have some
Yeah.
type of relevance. So here's my bird, and then you never see it again. MX is part of the story. MX you'll see in issue 3 as well. There's everybody has their part, I guess is the best way to put it.
That's smart.
Of course, there's the
Bookmarks. These are so
bookmark set.
cool. These always turn out so nice.
Yeah, I think they're just works of art. It's just really cool to. I think kids would really like those because my son really likes the one on the left of Madcaps. That's hand painted by John Zalesnik.
Yeah.
Like that guy, he's done like a bunch of Warhammer, a bunch of like Magic the Gathering, a bunch of metal album covers, but he's also done like the original cartridge art to Shinobi for the NES. Like this guy's been around for like ever. I'm not a big hockey fan, believe it or not. Surprise, surprise. And yes, I'm still Canadian. But
I'm not a hockey fan either, so I don't know.
John Zalesnik, he made the original image of the San Jose Sharks that they used for their jerseys.
Okay.
About not even a year ago, he had that original sketch for sale on his social media. But that guy's been like, he's had a passive influence on my childhood, like all over the place. It's really, really cool. Of course, the character sheets underneath that. Of course, that's not what the character sheets will look like. It's just to give you a visual of D&D plus these 4 guys. That's what you're getting. Level 5 characters. Heck of a lot of fun. I think it'd be a good time. And originally, when I played this story out, when I was writing it officially and replaying, because this was based off of a homebrew campaign I ran over a decade ago. I took out all of the people playing, all the characters that people were playing as, injected my own characters, but I actually used an online platform called Roll20, and I actually used them as icons on the board. So it looked very similar to this, where I moved them around. Okay, at this point of the story, we'd have people here. At this point of the story,
that's interesting.
they'd split up. I found it very, very useful.
I didn't know that you did that.
And then also, I got the inspiration from not Brian Michael Bendis. When Marvel had Civil War going on, which the Captain America 3 movie was loosely based off of, that involved pretty much every superhero and villain on Earth in the Marvel's 616 universe.
Right.
And
it's hard to keep track of where they all are. Yeah.
So they would, instead of, similar to how I had a digital board and icons laid out, they just use Post-it notes with each character's name on it. And they would put it on a giant wall and be, okay, at this phase of the story, make sure not to draw any of these characters in the background because they're over here. You always have those sniper-eyed, attention to detail, like die-hard, loyal fans that in this panel, I see this person, but at the same time, they're actually the main character over here. This can't work.
Right. It doesn't work.
They did everything possible to avoid those type of little minor mistakes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like time-wise, and it's like if they're in all the background, it's like you got to redo all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
So for me, I wasn't juggling such a heavy, highly detailed, multiple monthly issue story. I didn't have to worry about it that heavy, but I did find it very helpful to move things around. It gave me insight on what my panels were going to look like. It gave me insight on the overall dialogue. If these people are too far apart, they might not necessarily be speaking to each other. If they're doing these things at the same time, they'd be too far apart, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I found it very, very useful for a visual aid.
You know, it's interesting to me because people come to comics from all different, walks of life. And you coming from D&D, it makes sense that your writing is kind of D&D based, where you would even utilize Roll20 as a tool to help your writing. And like me that came from production, I still write in screenplay. You know what I mean? And then I transfer it over to comic book format. So it's just interesting to me how everybody comes to the same answer. We all come out with a comic book, but it's like the way that we get there is different. So I thought,
Well,
that's
for
interesting.
me, I have my friends make this as a joke. They don't think I have
Why?
like Batman level paranoia, but they do use the term pragmatic paranoia. Basically, in a nutshell, it means it's only paranoia if it doesn't come true. So my paranoia for script writing is I make sure that if somebody is leave to Canada write comics with
Come
dice.
on.
Well, I don't know. Let's go to Las Vegas, Nevada, and see how they write their comics. Maybe they got dice there. I don't know.
Ooh, touche.
But with that said, for me,
What's pragmatic? It's only
paranoia.
because it's only a problem if it comes true.
It's only
That's what they say?
paranoia if it doesn't come true,
Oh, if it doesn't come true.
right? Because the tinfoil hat is only useless if there's no aliens, right? That's the joke. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, I am very paranoid of not being clear of how I communicate myself.
In the
So
comic?
with the script. So script
Yeah.
for person writing the interiors, for example. The tough balance for me is I want to make sure everything's my drafting teacher back in the day, the 4 C's: clear, complete, concise, and correct. That way it's interpreted the way you want it to be. But on the flip side, I don't want to be controlling. I don't want to stunt the artist's chance to add their own flair, which is going to make the image flourish.
Right.
So I try to be, these are the things I want to happen, but be vague on all the other details to allow said whatchamacallit to happen. I have a heavy manufacturing background, so everything has to be like heavily specifically like
right. I mean,
very
yeah, when you're
clear.
engineering and you're giving instructions on how
Yes.
to put components together, you have to be very specific. I'm like
Yep.
you though, where it's like there's some panels where I'm very specific, like this is the camera angle and this is what we're seeing and this is how they're talking. And there's other times where I'm like, you figure it out.
That's a good point by Glenn. I just saw it there.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean you're wrong. Just saying.
That's a good point.
I live that every day. I'm one of those people from my martial arts background where I look for exits and I'm subconsciously thinking like, okay, if I were attacked in this restaurant, how would I escape and how would I get my kids out? Right.
Right.
And this goes on in my head all the time. And when people talk to me about like I do a self-defense seminar or something, and I'm telling people all these things that I think about all the time, they're like, wow, you're paranoid. I'm like, yes, but I'll be safe. Right. Right.
Everybody makes fun of the gun nut until the apocalypse happens.
Exactly. I was like, I was talking with Pops today. We were cheering on the zombie apocalypse. We're like, maybe it could come a little quicker. That would be great. But we want Romero zombies. Okay.
Romero zombies in specific.
The slow moving zombies where you can, get around them if you just move fast enough. That's the zombies that I'm hoping for. Not any of the other zombies. Like I really don't want Last of Us zombies.
How about World War Z zombies?
I mean, they're too fast.
They just sprint like a son of a gun, and their role isn't to consume either. So they're actually more efficient at getting more victims. All they do is sink their teeth in. Okay, that one's done.
Move on to the next. It's a virus, spread a virus. But I mean, like that one's really pushing it. Not that they're all fantastical. You know what I mean? Like they're all out there, right? None of them can actually be true, but those ones just, it's just like, no way.
Did you ever play the game Last of Us, or did you just watch the show?
Oh, I played Last of Us, the first one.
I never played the second
one. It's hard. I died a lot.
one of the things I really liked that was explored with zombies in that one, that was I don't think has ever really been done, and I could be wrong. I'm happy to be corrected, but
what?
In one scene in the game, one level, you had to get past a certain point. There was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 of these infected. They're not clickers yet.
Yeah.
They're just regular. Or there's one clicker, you kill that one first stealthily. And because I was still getting used to how the game was played, I'm like, you know what? We're going to do this full force. I'm going to hit one, run into an area where I can funnel them yet still escape, and then do that loop as I try to kill them. It worked like on my 3rd attempt. But the cool thing about it is, as I was messing up on attempt 1 and 2, they're right on your heels at some points. And they're not just grunting, they're using their vocal cords, but not properly. So it'd be like, no, and they're yelling at you as they're like trying to get you and stuff. And it actually added to the tension, because although they're dehumanized, it was like it was like a wolf in sheepskin.
Yes.
It felt like it was trying to be human, which just made it that much more creepy.
Yeah.
I've never seen that done with other zombies before, where the vocal cords weren't just like or something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost it's scary where it's like the human is still there. You know what I mean? But they're
Yeah,
not in control.
it's pretty much an
It's creepy.
exaggeration of final stage Alzheimer's. Is pretty much what it is. It's a tough game. I
It's
made you gulp there. I apologize if that one hit a little home or something.
no, I mean, well, that's what Path of the Pale Rider is. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that's what my undead are. It's this constant battle against your brain decomposing where it's like you can't trust yourself. You can't, you know, you lose your humanity. And that's kind of the same there, but it's not, there's no virus, there's no fungus that makes you, you know, aggressive, but you can still be aggressive because that's how dementia works. Um, it's terrifying to me. Dementia runs in
Mhm.
both sides of my family, and so
Oh
I've
yeah.
seen it. You know what I mean? I've seen, you know, the cute grandma who is always there for you for Christmas either not remember you or swear at you, and it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like you didn't even know that your grandma knew those words,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So
Yeah, that's
anyway,
pretty.
so I was hoping for Romero zombies where they can't swear at me. I could just
Have you
stab
heard
them
that
and go.
joke about the clicker that tried to get into the bar?
No, go ahead,
So
Ray.
I just made this one up and I don't care. I think it's good. So the clicker staggers up to the bar and they say, "We can't let you in." And the clicker chokes out the words, "Why not?" And the bouncer says, "I'm sorry, but we don't let fungus in." And the clicker says, "But I'm a fun guy."
That's the show, everybody. All right, come back.
It's actually a variant of a mushroom joke with the same format, but I like it. I like it a lot.
Oh my goodness.
Back to changing
Back to the
topics.
Madcaps.
Back to this.
There is something I wanted to say. I have this observation, and it's not specifically about Madcaps, but it's more about you, Ray.
Uh-huh.
You you are on your own words, new. This is your second issue writing, but somehow you managed to attract these high level, you know, like very skilled comic book creators, artists and
All
colorists
of the
and
talent.
very
I don't know how I did it. I
y-
don't know.
I think it speaks to you. I think it speaks to your nature, that you're passionate, that you have an idea that excites people. Um because not everybody can do this. Not everybody, I mean, like Victor Medina is sought out. I have a variant cover by him as well. It's like people seek out these guys. Dan Kemp and Dave Kemp are highly sought out colorists. I've seen them color a lot of things. They have
Mhm.
colored some of my variant covers for Path through William Russell. And so it just,
Yes.
you know, it's amazing to me that someone quote unquote new, and I'm not and it's, you know what I mean,
In
like
my
I'm not a
words, yeah, no
veteran,
problem. I get what you're
but
saying.
my point is it's amazing to see the level of talent you are able to entice into this project. So that to me speaks wonders
I th-
about this potential and what is coming, because if they've read the script and they're excited about it to turn out art like this, my goodness,
Thank
right?
you. No, I appreciate that. I had I think one of the variables that I found very, very helpful is I was able to have the interiors done first. And then I had Dan Kemp. He was one of the first people I asked after the interiors were done for issue 1. And he, man, he just said yes. And the classic Michael Jordan quote, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take."
Yeah.
And I did have talent that said, either I'm busy or not interested, and water off a duck's back, no big deal. I
Right.
understand, because I am, relatively speaking, I'm very green at this. So for people to just jump in after that, I had my interiors done. I had the interiors colored, and then I could show that to the cover artist. "Would you be interested in doing a cover
Mhm.
of this individual?" Sure. Great. And then on top of all of that, because again, and this leans towards pragmatic paranoia, Kickstarters they're not all successful. So
Mhm.
because what do I bring to the table? Well, it's not experience in the game. So what do I have to bring? So I made sure my book was finished before issue 1 launched so they could actually see that I was serious. Because it's not like, hey, I've brought you this, and this is coming out. It's in the works, coming back. And I just say, this is done. This is what you're getting yourself into. Here's the covers. Here's the people that have worked on it, and so forth and so on. I think that was a big part of it in regards to getting people to buy in regards to the talent.
Dan
As we
looks like a
mentioned, there's
floating
Dan.
head, by the way.
Dan is he is
Floating
a
head.
great conversationalist. You can tell he's in regards to color, obviously his intelligence is world caliber. He's a very talented individual, but he has a lot of life and a lot of insight, and he's great for having a conversation with. He can talk about anything.
He's one of those guys that I've had a few of these really wonderful guests where they come on and it's just like, I can just shut up for the whole 2 hours, right? And not ask a question and just ask like periodic, like, oh yeah, and then what about this? And then off they go. And it's super interesting. He looks a little intimidating, but I feel like he's just he's such an engaging person when you talk to him.
Yeah, he's really good at focusing in on things, and at the same time, he's very much a free spirit. It's very interesting, an interesting I don't want to say contrast, but a combo.
I feel like he needs a black beret.
Black beret,
He could, like on his head, like a hat, a French
Yeah, I
hat
guess.
beret. He would be like an art, like the angsty artist from, Picasso era.
Some accordion music and black and white film.
Oh, maybe a mime. No, I don't think he'd be a mime. But
No, him as a mime, he probably flipped somebody off or something. I don't want to do this.
You're like, how come you're talking? You're a mime. Fuck you. Like, oh, okay. He's not a mime.
Or just kind of like not really caring, being like, oh, I'm supposed to, okay, here's me behind a box.
Yeah, and he's like, look at this box.
Pop goes the weasel.
Right.
So we have Dan Kemp coloring the interiors, Micah Myers on the letters. They're back
Letters
from the
are
first
nice.
issue. Obviously,
Yeah.
shout out, and I've said this 1,000 times. Very grateful. Philip Rossert, Philip Publishing. They've his squad has been very helpful on various different levels, even the graphics on this Kickstarter. I'll be forever grateful. Philip Rossert, if anybody's looking for a Clint Eastwood from Gran Torino in combination with Nobody with Bob Odenkirk. If you combined those 2 movies,
Yeah.
with basically an old man versus the mafia, that's a comic that Phil has out right now called Papa. There's a huge twist after issue 1. And
I'm surprised you don't have it here.
it was decided to launch. There it is at the bottom and related. But anyways, it was decided to launch after I already launched mine. So this
You can
Kickstarter
still
page is
add a
already done.
picture.
Yes, I can do that right now. I will do that after this, actually. But anyways,
Just
I
saying.
would Old Man versus the Mafia. It's 5 issues. Issue 1 is on Kickstarter now. There's a really nice twist in it, a cliffhanger in issue 1. After you're done with issue 1, you'll be hooked. It's got a really cool twist, but I can't say anything else about it.
Don't spoil it.
All I can say is
I
it's an old man protecting his family, including a grandchild, and what a man will do, including sacrificing his own rules to keep his family safe.
Oh, okay. That's not heavy at all.
Not at all. It's an homage to his father who passed away. He launched this Kickstarter on the anniversary of his dad's death.
Oh, that is heavy.
Yeah, well, he wanted to get that book into his father's hands before he died, and that obviously didn't turn out as intended. As somebody who lost their dad 3 years ago, there's certain tasks that needed to get done, and I'm the baby of my family, so some of the tasks were given to me before my dad was dead, like over a decade prior, and it stayed in my mind, and I got it done. And it was partly obligation. A part of it was just processing grieving. And I know Phil's going through that with this book. He's just trying to get it out of his system. And I get that. Yeah. Anyways, going back to Madcaps.
I would like to know how I can get this handsome man with my pledge. Like, does he show up in the mailbox? Right. $35 seems like a steal. For a human.
$35 up to 6 comic creators get to back this tier and play as one of their created characters in a D&D game. So
Now,
you
my
could be Jude
question
St.
is,
Clair.
do you get to interact with the characters from the comic in this one shot?
So to clarify, you want to play as one of your characters.
I want to play as my character, but I
Yeah.
want to run into Madrakis and watch him vomit on somebody.
Yes, that can happen.
Oh,
I've
okay.
played as Madrakis and done Anini. I might actually play one of the other two, but that is
Cool.
possible. Yes, that's the whole point of this.
Can I play as Madrakis?
You could. You could, definitely.
Vomit everywhere.
Yeah, you could do that. Now, mind
Like,
you,
oh,
just
no.
just like how skunks have their smelly defense mechanism,
Yeah.
they can't do it all the time. So
Oh.
you could definitely pull that trick out, and it will be awesome.
Okay, the lightning can come out once, and then I could just actually vomit.
And then you could just vomit. Yes, you get
Like,
the best.
Dragon,
of both worlds
stop! You don't have any lightning left.
I vomit lightning on this construct golem, and then I vomit on this goblin after.
Yeah. How many stomachs does Madrakis have? That's a great question.
That is a good question.
Must
I believe
replenish.
it's just one.
Just one.
Just eating rotten milk and
Yeah,
just,
into at least 4 stomachs. Give me some ammo.
eating the
that's fun. This
goblins
is
and
a
vomiting
unique-
them out.
Yeah. That's the point. Is that's my defense mechanism. You get too close, and I might vomit on you. But if I have 4 stomachs, I can do it multiple times.
That's right.
I was just gonna say that this is kind of cool, you guys. This is unique because not only can you get the comic, but then you can go play in the comic. And this is something that I wish that I had, because I've talked about this because I have the Choose Your Own Adventure book, but people have asked me multiple times, can we homebrew Path? And I was like, that sounds really good, but I don't know how to do that. So, but that's awesome that
Well,
you
I'll
can
tell
do
you
that,
what. I'll tell you
Madcap.
what. Michael Townsend, that tier, it is
Yeah.
the price is just to pay for his services. He does this professionally.
Yeah.
I've said this on other streams. I actually lose $1 for every person that goes into that. It's strictly to give this guy some exposure because I'm a big fan of his work.
That's
But with that said, if you want to try a different route, I love making home brews. So once I get through issues 1 to 6, which is 2.
I pushed the wrong button. That was unintentional. I'm sorry.
Don't say anything.
I was like, I was just clicking on- Yeah, there goes Ray again. Oh darn. I'm sorry. That was
But I would happily run a homebrew once I get the lore down, because I've only read the first 2 stories, but I've got them all coming in the
Well,
mail. So
right. I was like, they're coming, but I feel like I have to get a little bit further so you can understand. Like,
well, that depends on the story arc.
right. That's what I'm saying.
So like if I could probably make a homebrew based off of the first 6 issues and not run into an issue. No
That's
pun
true.
intended.
And I mean, like, we could do different time frames too, because with Path, it's like there's the fall, right? When
Mhm.
society is breaking apart, nobody knows anything. And then there's a time where Jude's in currently, where it's like it's 10 years in, everybody kind of understands the mechanics, but it's the Wild West again with zombies. But then there's what happens later, which could be its own thing. After 7, things come out and it starts going fast. Excited. I'll stop talking.
Things what was the airplane joke? Pooh's
Mhm.
gonna hit the fan, big chunk hits the fan on the blade.
Yeah.
And
That's
the movie
that's
Airplane.
7. That's 7. And then but you will have to, okay, so there's 1 through 6, there is 7, and like I said, there's everything after 7, but it's in 8, 9, and 10 that you will have to see if you're right on your theories. So if you're paying attention in 8,
I just want to point out you
figure
went
it out.
out of your way to bring up my theories, which leads in I'm more inclined to believe that I'm somewhere accurate. We're
why
gonna
don't you
have
tell
to wait
people
and
what
find
your
out. Though.
theories are so people can
You want me to say them?
all
Or-
the theories, yeah.
Well, I think they're right, so I don't want to give your story away.
I have not confirmed if they're right. So
But you
it's
never said they're
interesting to
wrong.
talk about.
You won't say they're wrong.
Correct. I never tell people if they're right or they're wrong. Because
All right.
I want you
So
to think more.
The theory is that Jude St. Clair is actually all 5 Power Rangers combined. And you can't confirm or deny this, Laurie.
So
You can't confirm or deny.
Here's the funny thing about that. I'm actually a Power Rangers fan. I grew up watching Power Rangers when I was a kid. I got to meet Austin St. John years
Yay!
ago because he's here.
That's my
in
favorite
Texas.
Ranger.
Yeah,
he's 2 different Rangers. He's the first
reading
Red Ranger.
Path. He reads Path because I give it to him for free. Totally nerded out and forgot my own name when I met him. But that's not. I actually have I have a Power Rangers reference in the second arc.
Nice.
Just so you know. So
That's so cool.
You'll be getting a Power Rangers reference, but not for a little bit.
I always love Power Rangers references in comics. Tom has one in his, Mr. Hutchinson, in Critter. There's actually a group that is reminiscent of Power Rangers. Right. And the 3 men in the group are named Jason, David, and Frank.
That's right.
Which is the actor who played Tommy.
I was like, please remind me. I know that they're there, but I forget.
But that's cool. You met Austin St. John. Austin St. John. I'm actually watching Power Rangers with my kids from like the beginnings.
Oh, it's so terrible.
Especially when you know the context that it's all stock footage from a different show.
Oh God.
But with that said, my kids really enjoyed the Mighty Morphin era. That season 2 is a passable, except when 3 of the Rangers, including Austin St. John, get replaced. I don't mind
after that.
You stopped after that point.
I think I had grown out of it at that point because I think I'm a little older than you. But I
was born
tried
in '84. I think you've got
kid.
a handful of years on me. But anyways,
you were born in '84.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not that much older, but I'm older than you.
But you tried watching it with your kids?
Yeah, and they were like, "What is this? This is terrible." And I was like, "It kind of is." Like
that's what makes it so good.
And you revisit some of the stuff, like we used to watch He-Man, we used to watch Strawberry Shortcake, and you go back and you watch some of these cartoons and you're like, this doesn't make any sense.
I love the stage acting voices in Masters of the Universe. Skeletor, I'm going to beat you this time. And then Skeletor, I'm going to defeat you. Remember that meme?
Yeah. So many Skeletor memes. They're so funny.
What a great show. But yeah, Power Rangers, I could like watch
Power Rangers.
forever.
So back to the theory. It is not Jude St. Clair as all 5 Power Rangers.
Now, I want to point out your contradiction. I set you up for this because you just denied my theory that I proposed.
Which one?
You said you don't confirm or deny theories, and I just proposed when you said it is not that he's Power Rangers.
Oh, come on. That's being ridiculous.
It's a theory. You didn't say good theories. You just said theories.
Yes, but it's ridiculous.
I painted you in a corner.
You corner.
My plot.
You said something absolutely ridiculous, like you neither confirm nor deny. But when I said that Jude St. Clair is actually Skrillex, the musician, the DJ,
shaves the side of his head.
Yeah.
Pierces his nose. Puts on some thick frame glasses.
Big sunglasses.
Name is Skrillex, man.
Hey, man, we're gonna have
Bangarang.
You have to be undead to get in.
Undead raves.
That's a theory about Jude St. Clair that he is actually Skrillex in disguise.
So to clarify, Jude St. Clair is not Skrillex, and he's not all 5 Power Rangers combined in Megazord fashion. Maybe that's the real theory. Every human being in your story is actually Megazords, and the real cities are really tiny.
So you don't want to talk about your theories? Is that what you're saying?
I love how you just like, we're not even going to acknowledge this.
I'm not going to even talk about that. That's nuts.
Okay. All right. Fine.
I don't have a tinfoil hat up here. I need to get one for you, Ray.
I love it. So my theory is I have 2. Either Jude St. Clair is deaf and doesn't remember, and this is why things aren't dying. Or my other theory is I'm just watching your subtle facial expressions as I said that one. And then the other one is Death is stalking Jude St. Clair for reasons unknown. And for the same dynamic to play out where Death is focused on Jude for insert reasons here. And that's why nothing else is dying properly. Those are my 2 theories. Overly summarized, but
Jude keep getting away though. If it's Death and Death is focused on Jude, like how does Jude keep getting away?
That's a well-placed statement to take attention off of the other theory. I like it.
Hey.
So I also think that would. Hey, that's
It's Al.
Al Mega.
Salud.
Yes, and it also adds to your. It gives relevance to your title. So
Yes.
if you look at the biblical revelation about the four horsemen of apocalypse, death is on a pale horse, and there's obviously some layers there, but it could be Jude riding a horse or something riding a horse following Jude, and those are my theories, and I'm
We
sticking to
took
them.
out his horse like real quick. Just
It's
saying.
true. It's true.
He hasn't been on a horse since. Keep that in mind.
But if he was a pale rider, it could be a metaphorical thing, which is all the layers, right?
This is true. And I like how you see that because that was intentional. Like it's about the apocalypse. It's about
About death. Horse killer.
Oh, poor Al. Let me just drink your tears.
Delicious tears.
Did it taste like a steak? Who's messed up now?
Who
I've
here
never
has
had
eaten-
anybody ask
I've
me
never
what the
eaten
horse
horse
tastes like.
before.
But see, Big James didn't eat the horse because he doesn't eat.
He's stuck in rage mode. That's right.
Yeah, he just destroys things.
See, this is completely off topic.
Huh?
This is completely off topic, but I used to watch this TV series. I'm sure Tom Hutchinson would love it. It's called Due South.
I don't
And
think
it's
he's
about
still
this
here.
Canadian Mountie who's basically Dudley Do-Right,
Yeah.
who moves to Chicago, and it's like 4 seasons long. In one of the
It took
episodes,
that long to move?
yeah, it took all 4. That's right. But anyways, this Mountie, his name is Benton Fraser, and in one episode, there's people getting sick, and they all have a common thread of shopping at this one grocery store, and
Ooh.
Benton Fraser, using his old Mountie backdoor skills, he cuts into some of the steak, and he's like, "This smells rotten." And by the end of the episode, they find out the cause of it, and they're actually using horse meat. So people were like
It's
convinced
not,
it was.
and it's rotten horse meat. Are the people not smelling the meat?
Well,
before they
Benton
cook it?
Fraser is really good at like scent. So he's saying it's rotten or it smells off. And it was actually, he could tell the difference between cow and horse meat. And most people
Raw?
could not. So people were getting sick off of like tainted meat, horse meat. It was all just a bunch of different types of meat. So I assume horse steak tastes the same as beef steak. I am not going to be finding out.
No one wants to know. Just put it that way, Al. No one wants to know, Al.
I'll get back to get on there and get back to us. Let us know.
No, don't eat a horse. Don't do it. It's like can't eat. Haven't you seen that PETA scale?
The people who eat
PETA
tasty animals, I'm part
the
of that.
PETA, no, it's like PETA though. They
People
protest,
eating
right?
tasty animals.
And they have like
I
the
love PETA.
billboard there. It's like, the whole point is why is it okay to eat these animals and not these? Where it has like a scale and it's like cow, chicken is okay, but then it's like horse, cat, and dog not okay.
My question for them is, why is the scale in that order? I think I would do it in tandem and eat just every other animal. Like, why is it in that scale? And what gives them the authority to give such a? Was that a Subway remark? I want extra broiled horse on there.
So I mean, it's like Subways. It's not actually tuna.
Yeah. But I think one thing I've always been interested in Western culture, how Pokemon has evaded PETA because they're training animals to fight each other,
Right.
essentially. And I've always wondered how PETA's not like twisted the arm of the government to like get this out of like kids' cartoon shows or state TV
I
stations.
mean,
It's an interesting thought, right?
have you seen some of the Pokemon? One is a tree with coconut heads. I mean, you can get upset about that.
Three coconut heads. You said plural, right?
Yeah.
My kids
I don't know.
love Pokemon.
Eggsy or something.
Yeah, you're pretending not to know.
My kids,
Execure, something like that.
that one.
Yeah.
my kids, I was like Pikachu, that one. The Charizard, yeah. Bulbasaur, that's all I got. Marco
My
DeFeo took it upon himself to draw all of the Pokemon into his sketchbook. He's on like 200 of them already.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
not the original 151, but like there's like almost 800 now.
I don't know how many he's on, but like I'll come across his TikToks where he's drawing them and he's like, "What's this Pokemon?" Like
Da-na-na.
yeah, where it's like the commercial and I just make up dumb names. I'm like Fish Face, Tuna Head.
They can only
like,
say their names. You have like
right.
some person, you know, they look at the screen and be like, I'm asshole. I mean, asshole, 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 or something like that.
It's like, I really wonder what they have to say. But yeah, I'm always typing in stupid stuff. I'm like, I don't know these. I'm like, who even knew these existed? So PETA can get upset about the coconut trees beating on each other. That would be funny.
You know what? I would like
Something to
to somehow make a dish that's made by that company and just serve it like horse meat and sandwiches, and we'll call it pita bread or something like that. I think that would go over well. And kick.
You called it. I was like, hey, goodbye, Ray.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh no.
Delicious.
Here, the Madness Comic Group, Madness Entertainment Group does not support the statements of all and beliefs of this guest or any of our guests.
Madness Comics Network, in conjunction with the partaking of eating tasty animals, has brought a new dish.
No. We do not condone eating horses and cats.
Have you ever seen you know the story behind the WWF and how they had to change their name to the WWE?
No.
So
wasn't there a thing with a panda that was WWF?
that was the World Wildlife Foundation. So they
That
both
one.
fought over that acronym,
Oh,
those
yeah.
3 letters. I saw a t-shirt where it showed that panda
Like,
bear.
careful.
Zit, I'll
What
stop
I
it
said,
now.
I was like, we don't promote. Yeah, we'll have to put in the
I
disclaimer.
might have to come in.
That's why I was like, we don't do that.
Got your back. This is all satire. It's not Karen caliber offensive, but I understand the offense.
The
and
wrong
just claim
show,
it's
Ray.
satire. But the World Wildlife Foundation, you know their image, it's got the panda bear.
Yeah.
Somebody took that and drew in another panda bear with a folding chair for the other WWF. I want
it
that
works
t-shirt.
for both.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. Crossover. Who would have thunk?
Well, I don't think they would play nice since they fought over 3 letters for
Probably
so
not.
long. One can only hope. But yeah, so my theory.
That's why they're WWE. So the panda bears won. That's hard to believe.
Yes. Yeah, WWE. When was that? I think it was like early 2000s or late 90s, maybe. But Vince McMahon lost.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm crying.
But yeah, my theory is Path of the Pale Rider. I honestly believe the Path of the Pale Rider, it's even in the title. So Pale Rider is code for death, and this is about a path of Jude St. Clair. That's my top theory.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. It's Jude St. Clair's journey through the apocalypse, trying to figure out what happened to death.
Mm-hmm.
His death is broke. So
maybe he's just following the path of said Pale Rider. But I double down on my original theory. I'm happy to be wrong, but I am entertained to find out.
I like your theory. I like when people come to me with theories because that means that they're reading into, and that's
Unless
what
it's
I'm
about
trying
Power
to
Rangers.
do. Unless it's Power Rangers, and then I just shake my head at
and kick me off.
Yeah, bye.
The first person to be kicked off
butt?
while she was not in Karen mode. Elephant butt.
Oh no, I've kicked a bunch of people off. This is not new.
Elephant
Especially
butt.
when the show first started. When I first took over, I was kicking people off left and right. I was like, "You got to go."
Is this like what is it? Geraldo Rivera, that one meltdown episode, or like Jerry Springer, I guess, is a more satire equivalent. That type of kicking off. Had to hit you right between the eyes.
Losing her musical face today. At least we're entertaining. What is this? Did we say elephant butt?
I think it has to do with horse meat.
Horse meat. How we got it? Elephant butts?
Maybe. I think so.
Where's your sandwich?
It's half eaten now. Raisin bread, peanut butter jam sandwich is actually pretty good. I've never had it.
Actually sounds good. I would eat that.
To add to my caloric intake next time, I'm going to dip it in honey or something. I think that would be
Ew.
good.
What were you? Maple syrup.
Let's not get carried away here.
You don't have enough maple syrup left. You drink it all.
Just because I'm Canadian doesn't mean I put maple syrup on everything.
There's that voice again. That's the voice in my head where it's like, you should do this. Smash it with the the bat saw. Okay. Uh-oh, we're in trouble.
I'm drawing, so I'm in a good mood. Oh,
Ooh, yeah.
What are we
you drawing,
drawing?
Lou? Yeah.
Are we inspiring? It could be based off of something we might
Could
regret.
be
talking
terrifying. We could be scaring people. She does good stuff. She's done the Karen and Dante, couple of them, and sounds like
Nice.
you're a child. Oh,
You're right,
uh-oh.
Jizz. No, if you scroll up, you will see that Al said, I heard Pops knows how to grill elephant butt.
So we were close.
Oh, we
You
missed that
see?
one.
You see, I didn't though, so I had to comment.
Well, it depends. It depends
Not a
what
big
grill
girl.
means. Maybe you
I'm
make
gonna grill
fun
you.
of
That's gonna
elephant
be
butt.
my side. I'm just saying.
A flamingo. Oh, I have a flamingo story.
Oh no.
I'm
Oh
all
no, is right.
elephant butt.
It's
Oh no.
I'll get my
oh, no,
sandwich
it's
out.
correct. Yeah, eat your sandwich. So my kiddo turned 8 last week on Thursday, and she was sick the week before. We were supposed to celebrate birthdays. It all got postponed because she was sick for the family birthday. So she had like three separate birthday gatherings. I'm done eating the cake. Anyway, long story short, there's one thing that I knew was coming that she would really want, and it was this pooping flamingo.
I've seen this.
Have you?
No.
Yeah, it's in a toilet, right? It comes in
Yeah,
a
it
toilet?
sits on a
Yes.
toilet.
It's
You
got
feed it
extendable
this-
neck.
Yeah, it has a really
Yes.
long neck. And you put this like powder into its mouth, and it's hydro. I don't know if it's the right word, hydroscopic. It's something where it won't absorb water, but it's not like sand where the water will even
Hydrophobic.
hydrophobic. Thank you.
Yes.
So it eats the stuff. You close its mouth, and it sings a song. Uh-oh, gotta go. Uh-oh, gotta go. As it's like moving its neck around, and then it grunts. It's like, and it poops into this clear toilet so you can see it poop. And then you literally like pour it back into the scoop and feed it again.
It eats its own poop.
It's never ending loop of
Sounds like a
feeding
new
and
movie
pooping.
called Flamingo Centipede.
It's so good.
No. Just
That
a
would be the longest centipede ever.
just freaking no.
Freaking no. So yeah, this was the present I knew that she wanted, and then like she got clothes, and like we got her some other stuff, of course. But you know,
Look,
she gets
this
like new shoes.
generation has turned a whole bunch of kids into fecophiliacs, man.
I don't know what. Well, to be honest with you, little
They're
girls.
all obsessed with poop and poop.
I don't know about
toys,
poop.
poop
but
squishies
kids-
and poop.
Girls,
When I was a kid,
little
poop was
girls,
funny.
and I'm speaking from experience. We have always had toys that like you feed it a bottle and it wets itself. Like there's always been those toys. There's always.
Okay,
Stop
but they're
it!
talking about hugging a little piece of poop.
Yeah, I've never had anything that could poop before, but
No, I'm saying they get these squishies that are shaped like a turd, and they're running around the house hugging them and shit. It's
Oh,
like,
I know what you're talking about. They're
Oh.
poo emojis.
it's the poop emoji.
yes,
Yeah.
look, everything is poop. Look, as a
Poop
matter
is
of fact,
funny.
everything is poop so good that
Minnie, Laurie.
one of our friends took advantage of it. Sam, he made duty a thing. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Well, he had duty as a thing
He
before it
made
was
duty
cool
a
to
thing.
have
I mean,
duty
he
as a
made poop-
thing.
He made
I
poop a cool thing. You see
I
what
want to
I'm
see
saying?
Yoda, but instead of green, all brown, saying duty or do not. There is no try.
Bye, Ray. You win. You win. You
Well,
think you
sitting
have
on the toilet grunting.
no.
Kicked off again.
Oh. Oh, that was a visual I did not need.
Get off the pot.
You could like triple, quadruple entendre if he's eating a donut at the same time. Duty or donut,
That
there is
is
no
not
try.
AI, bro. I don't
AI
do
pops
AI.
looking.
No, someone drew that.
We do not AI around here, bro. If you
I
see
think
me
he's trying to
post-
infer that you're like automated because it isn't your face. It's like a talking face, even though it's not obviously AI. It's
No, he thinks
kind
that
of AI-esque.
yeah.
I'm just saying. I look. You will never see me posting as my avatar something that one of my friends didn't draw.
I hear
No, he
you.
doesn't need
I
to.
get that
Everybody draws
too.
pops.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I don't AI, man. I don't.
The drawing you do have a Fabio type
Care.
of
Fabio
portrayal.
Van
I don't know how
Zandt.
else to put it. Fabio Van Zandt. There you go.
Well, I mean, we have the two different looks, right? We have the Dante, right, which is also hand drawn by somebody in the chat. As a matter of
Lou.
fact,
I didn't see Lou post the poop emoji. I'm not paying
is that
attention.
a Lupu?
That's a Lou.
it's a Lupu. Yes, you see, yeah. Look, I'm just
Cindy
saying.
Lou
I
Poo.
have so many friends that have drawn me so many different ways. Manny's drawn me. Edwin's drawn me. Les Garner's drawn me. I have a dozen different avatars I can put up there, and not one of them be AI, bro.
You know what? You've inspired me, Pops. I want to get myself an avatar. I don't know what I would do, and I
Ron?
think it would be like riding a shark while holding 2 miniguns and breathing,
no.
and the
No,
shark's
no,
breathing
no.
out
You
fire.
got maple syrup in one hand and a maple leaf in the other. We got you, bro. We got you.
Maybe a gorilla holding those things for me while I'm holding onto its silver back, running
While
through
while you're riding on its back. Yeah, you could probably pull that off.
you know, those Canadian silverback gorillas. The reason
know
they're
how
silverback is if they like
gorillas
turn
really
into a
do?
ball, they blend in with the snow. You can't see them. It's true.
I thought those were Yetis.
Actually, over the weekend, Glenn, I was Pops Van Santa Claus. I was
Yeah,
giving
was there
stuff
Grand
away at the con.
Rapids? Grand Rapids Comic Con?
Yeah, I was well, it was actually in Kalamazoo. The spring one's in Kalamazoo. But yeah, I was up there and I had a backpack full of stuff. And I told everybody the night before, I said, if I'm standing by a table waiting to talk to somebody because they got people there, if you buy something, I'm gonna give you something. And I had a backpack full of stuff.
Cool.
I gave away a lot of stuff because I encourage people. I stand right there by the table, like Randy Zimmerman's table or whoever, John Dexter's table. I was standing by his table, and these girls were looking at Alpha Dogs, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a great series. You buy something from Dude right now, and I'll give you something out this backpack." Right? So I showed the
Pops,
girls.
that's not creepy at all.
Oh
Okay.
no, it was cool because it was all, come on,
Just
it's
to some
comics and
random
prints.
chicks. We're like, I'll give you something from this bag.
It's comics and prints, yo. Come on. Anyway,
First one's
she
free.
went through the comics and she actually picked Nira X Dark Seas #2 because she likes boobs. She said it. I want the one with the boobs. I'm like, yeah, that would be the one.
All right.
Bill Moss, go ahead, get that, right? But yeah, I gave out about like 10 comics and a bunch of those prints that Cameron, sketchy guy in Nevada, sent me. I gave out a bunch of those because people really like the Logan and Wilson vote for Logan Wilson, the political poster looking one that had Deadpool and Wolverine. People ate those up. They're gone, all of them.
Awesome.
You know, yeah, man. I was encouraging people to buy stuff, and I was giving them something free if they did. And I gave a lot of free stuff away. So I encouraged a lot of people to buy something at the con. I had a blast.
That's nice.
That's good, man.
Instead of just standing there and making them feel uncomfortable while I'm waiting to get an interview, right? Instead of making those people at the table uncomfortable, like I'm in a hurry to get past them or something, I give them incentive to buy.
Look who showed up.
There's Victor.
What's up, Victor?
Yeah, Victor.
Hour
Right on,
and
man.
43 minutes. That's okay.
All
You're
good,
welcome
man.
here.
All good.
Thanks,
That's my
Victor.
interior artist for this issue of the Madcaps.
Really? Victor's
been
been,
doing
out on
great.
the draw
He's
stream
still on for the book
not that long
depository
ago. He
one?
was out on one of the draw streams.
He
Finally
was,
got to meet dude. It was good. It was
Yeah,
good.
all as well, man. He's a pleasure to work with, and he's been, like I said before, he's really happy with working with my script, and he was beside himself when he found out Dan Kemp was going to be coloring his work. Great, it's a great team.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to be part of that.
Did you pick a date, Glenn, that you're going to be over here? I'm just curious. You need to let me know because I might be traveling in June and I'm not sure when. I might
You
be
coming up
in.
here?
I will be in hopefully I'll be in Michigan. My parents are celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, so they're more than likely going to have a party. They're just they're picking dates based on availability. So, but I'm mom and dad, I know you're not listening, but if you are, freaking pick a date.
Yeah, pick a date so I can find out.
I need to get plane tickets in order to
so
get
I
up
can
there.
figure out if I
He
can
ain't
find a way
driving.
up. I'm going to talk to Brad. I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to come up and meet you next time you come up here. No matter what you're doing, even if it's just to hang out, have lunch or something. I got to hang out with come on, you've been with
My
us for
mom
a long
said
time now.
that you could come to the sure. You could crash the party.
Glenn's
guys.
already talking to your mom. See that?
That's funny. It'd be like, this is the 50th anniversary party here. And in this corner, it's Laurie meeting all her Michigan friends.
Well, not too far away
Is
is a
Canada.
place I land in quite a bit. It's I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours drive.
Toronto?
Yep. See, you just make your way up to Toronto. I'll tell you when I'm there.
Ah, yeah. Not going. It's cold there.
Not in Toronto. Toronto's like pretty much
That's
Michigan.
true. That's true. I've been to Toronto actually a few times. The great
Neon
thing about
green
Michigan
coffee.
is that we would go over the bridge and go drink in Canada at 19 and then come out.
You see the newest prom, Laurie?
Yes, I see.
You see the newest prom? Yes.
The
You
goblin
your
is
little butt cheek right there. You like that?
he's mixing up a new brew. This is the Tuesday morning brew. Should be a cup collecting it
Push
all.
the button.
Yeah, that made me laugh. That was fun.
Okay, just checking. I was like, are you dying?
I'll give you that one. I'm just looking for other
They
stuff.
told me I'm supposed to say I'm happy with the scripts, or I'll get the hose again.
Are you in?
Put the
Are you
lotion
in
on
Ray's
the
basement?
skin.
Did he kidnap you? Are you in that well? Like, I'm sorry, Vic.
He's just off camera here.
You just have
See,
to.
give me 5. See,
Gotta-
done.
Gotta do pages, or you have to put the lotion on again.
Put the lotions on the skin. That's creepy. That's
He
very
puts
creepy.
the lotion on its skin, or it
Who the
gets
heck
the
was it we
hose
was
again.
talking to the other day that was actually has something to do with that building?
Huh?
From Silence of the
talking to-
Lambs?
We were talking to somebody the other day that actually has something to do with that building where that was filmed, I think, or where it actually
Really?
happened or whatever.
We need a sound clip of Anthony Hopkins right now saying, "Here, use this, cut your face off." What a creepy movie, man. Creepy movie.
It's so bizarre. My kids watch this show on Nickelodeon called Sam and Cat. And like it's old, it's off the air now. It's like Ariana Grande when she was young, and but Nickelodeon, right? But they have this episode where they spoof Silence of the Lambs. And I was like, I'm watching this and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And my kids have no idea what they're watching. And I'm just like, he did the okay.
Is it like a Halloween special?
I'm
or
kind of
something?
disturbed that they're spoofing Silence of the Lambs on a kid show.
It was a
That's
bunch of
creepy,
like,
though.
it was a bunch of pork in a cans. It was Silence of the Hams.
No, but there was
That was the
supposedly a
parody.
stalker, and they kidnapped some of the kids that were like the good kids, and they had them in the well. And she was telling them that they had to put conditioner in their hair or they would get the hose again. And when they were confused, she would throw like a garden hose at them.
It's worse than Silence of the Lambs. They
It's
literally
terrible.
get beaten to death with a
Yeah,
rubber
they're
hose.
just like a pile of hoses in the.
That's terrible.
But I was just like, you're kidding me, right? And my kids are like, what? And I was like, she's going to say, it put the, something about the hose or it gets the hose again. No. Oh my God. I was so worried that they were going to do that, but they didn't. The stalker was a girl. So I was like, but they never explained like why she kidnapped them. I was like, is she going to like threaten to wear their skin or their hair or something? I was curious, but they never explained. So they didn't go too dark. But I was like, what?
Just enough for people to reference it and for kids to be oblivious.
Yeah, for kids to be oblivious, 100%.
Oh,
was
Laurie,
great.
did you see the furry that I interviewed?
Yes, I was amused. Amused and confused.
I told him to go watch Killer Karen, that Karen wants to interview a furry.
See, the thing is if we find a legit furry, they still have to
Yes.
be on board to come on the show
Yes.
and get flippin' insulted
That's
because
why
they
I
don't
told them to
know
go
us.
watch the show. I explained what the show is about, right? You know, it's like we just clown on people, but we promote them, and they clown on us back, and we clown on each other, and it's just fun, right?
She would rip
You
a
know.
furry to shreds. To
I
shreds.
did. I
you
told him. I
say.
said she really wants to interview a furry, but they have to have a good sense of humor and be,
What's with the limb
you
show?
know, down with what the show's about. But I told him go watch it. I said go watch Killer
Like,
Karen.
are you familiar with Between Two Ferns
Yes. Yes, I am.
and what it's like to maybe be on the receiving end of that? Because
Yeah.
that's what would happen if you were a furry.
Well,
on
that's
Killer
what you experienced when I was on Killer Karen.
we were very impressed and unprepared for the antics that Ray brought. We kept
And
breaking
that's-
character.
I had
that's
lots of
what
props.
we loved about the show. It was never scripted. We had no idea what we were going to get. When
Ray-
Fish
Oh,
Ray's-
speak for
Ray's
yourself.
got
I knew
his
exactly what you were going to get.
Ray was like, "Stop laughing! You ruin all my
Oh,
you
that
ruin
was a
all
good
my
time,
my
man.
good stuff." We were just laughing through
Yeah.
it all.
we kept busting up and happened to
Hockey
we had to
Hold on.
redo a couple of his bits, didn't we?
Hold on.
It was
Can
like,
you
"Let me
see?
stir
Hold
my
on. Hold
coffee
on.
with an
Hold on.
upside down
Look
coffee
at.
stick."
Do you see that right
That
there?
hockey stick.
That's
yeah,
the
we
hockey
stirred
stick.
coffee.
Yeah,
There it
that's
is.
what you were using.
Yep.
Yep.
That was the one I was stirring my coffee cup with as I
Little
was stirring the
spider web.
maple syrup into it.
Yes.
I had like so many layers and I kept adding on. It was a good time.
He
Oh
came
my
so
gosh.
he came so well prepared.
My
Yeah.
plan was to
He-
come across as annoying little brother. That's what my plan was.
I
Because
think you were in my DMs for the whole 2 weeks before we filmed. Like, what about this? And what about that? And we should plan this. And like,
And-
someone is very excited to come on the show. It was a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
good time. I definitely enjoyed that.
See, when people get in my inbox, I tell them, man, we don't script it. You just bring whatever you bring, and it's all, you know, it's almost always just ad-libbing off what each other says. You
Mine
know,
was
we
just
might have
looking for
a
material.
base idea. We might have a base idea, Laurie and I'll go, hey, let's do this.
Well, we'll come in with Pops and I will come in with an idea of what we're gonna do because Karen's always coming in with antics. Like I had Botox or you know what I mean? Like we had to plan with Chad
Gummies.
Perkins too for the drinking contest just so we had the top.
The
stuff
was
gummies,
a
like
good
that.
one.
the gummies was fun.
The
Yes,
gummies.
Seymour. Yes, Seymour. We actually, her character actually ate a whole jar of gummies on a show once. It was hilarious.
That's great.
You have to go watch that one.
Yeah. Man.
I met Seymour at GRCC, guys.
Oh, cool.
This guy is smart.
Lovely
He had a table set up with all kinds of munchies, Doritos, and just everything. Right? You're walking through the con, man. It's like you got
Hungry.
the munchie. Dude had it all on his table, and then he had a display of normal gummies. Right? And I was like, these are cool, but they're the wrong kind. Dude pulls some Jolly Rancher gummies out of his bag. And he goes, I got these. I was like, oh, you can keep those, man. But now I know where I can go get actual Jolly Rancher flavor.
Nice. This is why I did comics and cookies because some people are there to actually go to the con and other people are there to support that person going to the con.
But that's what I'm known as when I
You're
when
the
I,
support person.
No, when I raise horses, that's what I'm called. I'm called a Jolly Rancher because I'm so happy.
So anyway,
How many horses have you raised? I need to know this. Come on, bring him back. I need to
no,
know. How many horses have you raised, Ray?
he left.
None.
Yeah.
But that's why I did that is because there's someone there that's looking at my comics. And the other person's like, man, I could really use a chocolate chip cookie. And I'm just like,
Actually, when I was 14,
I love the faces.
When I was 14, I lived in a place that had a horse barn of 30 horses, and I got to take care of them. And that means
That's pretty
everything,
cool.
shoveling the shit out their stalls. I got to break one. I got to do all kinds of stuff when I lived there. It was
no,
awesome.
thank you. I'm
love
afraid of horses. Mm-mm,
I
they will
love
kill ya.
horses. They're awesome.
They'll kill you. So,
Yeah,
anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up in real nice here. So I just want to remind everybody to go to Madcaps #2, show some support.
Consequences.
Or there will be consequences. Remember to go back.
Just back it already.
with
because
the
I'm
Crom
telling you,
6.
this is a great story. It has all the things. It
That's
has
give
why I
you-
said
camaraderie.
dude looked like Crom. Because he's got blue on top of his head and he's green, just like Crom. He's got blue on top of his head and he's green.
I'm just gonna keep booting. So The Hangover meets Walking Dead with chainmail.
That's how Tom put it. You know what? I'll give you a good summary. Anybody who's still on the fence and not sure if they want to back it, I'll give you a couple of good points. First, it's funded, so it's not like you don't know if your money is going to get the target. You will be getting your product. This is issue number 2. So I've done it at least once before. So the product gets out to the people. I haven't had any upset reviews on delivery. And this book, as I've said on other podcasts, if you have friends you have not seen in a long time, and that one time you get to see them and your very, very essence is recharged, your inner child is very happy, even if it's for a short amount of time. This book is an homage to that level of camaraderie. Laura, you pointed out earlier how if you're in a scenario in a restaurant, this is where I would escape if something bad would happen. This is how I keep my family safe. When you're around your friends, you don't think about family. You think about, where are we going to go with this antic, or should we just get out of here kind of thing? And this book is riddled with that. It's just told in the theme of medieval fantasy. And it's told through the theme of medieval fantasy told through the medium of comic book. So if you can relate to anything I've just said, if you like fantasy, if you like, I used this joke already, melee, magic, mayhem, and many other M's, monsters included, give this a shot. I guarantee you this 3-issue miniseries, you'll be getting your money's worth. That's for sure. Out now for the next 2 weeks, already funded, lots of stretch goals to cover, and looking forward to showing it accordingly.
And lots of good merch, and you can purchase a human. Don't quote me on that.
Laurie wants to purchase a human.
You can purchase an experience with a human, which could be misinterpreted. So I'm not going to say that again. But yeah, go show support indie. It's super important because this is how good stories can get made these days, right?
Laurie, do you
Very
know
popsicle,
the kids show Talking Tom?
Yes.
So that individual there is actually the voice of Talking Tom.
Shut up.
I kid you not. Now you have to join.
Now
You
my
gotta join
kids
me.
are so excited. Only if I can. Again, I'm gonna be Madrakis and vomit on everyone. Pimp Laurie, what's my cut? I get to help indie community. That's my cut. That's why I do this show. It's because I love indie. I am indie, and people need to know some of the cool shit that's out there. Because that's the hardest thing being indie is you have cool stuff and nobody knows you exist. Ray exists. Go show some support. That's the show, guys. We'll catch you all next week. More indie guests. I think Jason Strutz will be here next week. He hasn't been on the show before. So first timer, fresh meat. Be excellent to each other. Kiss your babies. And that's it. We're out of here. Bye.
Bye.
Click on the tube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delight. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite.